From worst to possibly first, the Arizona Cardinals have a chance to become the next best thing in the NFL. In this series, we're going to go ahead and break down how the Cardinals are going to do against the best division of all of football. First, we talked about the San Francisco 49ers. If you missed that episode, I'll be placing it up here, as well as I'll be placing the description below, just so you can check out that video whenever you're done with this one. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Rams. At one point, they had the best running back in Todd Gurley a couple years ago, and he unfortunately had a really bad injury that he was really hard to recover from. Also had a really stud quarterback in Jared Goff that seems to be regressing, and they're just coming off an average 2019 season. Let's go ahead and roll that intro. Welcome back, guys. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, what I wanted to do is have a series going on with all the teams in the NFC West. In my opinion, how the Arizona Cardinals are going to stack up against them this coming 2020 season. And I also wanted to mention, if you want this series to continue, we have one more video to make against the Seattle Seahawks and how I think we're going to break down against them. Let's get this video to 100 likes like we did on the San Francisco video. Let's go ahead and keep that momentum going, guys. Let me know that you guys love this content. Other than that, let's go ahead and roll right into it. Arizona Cardinals are coming off one of the best off seasons that we've had in quite some time, with getting such great talent, whether it was in free agency or even the draft. Past couple years, the Arizona Cardinals have had a very hard time scoring or having any good games against the Los Angeles Rams. Los Angeles Rams were hitting a stride like we haven't seen before, especially with young quarterback Jared Goff and a premier running back at one point, Todd Gurley. He was wrecking the league like nobody's business. If you had Todd Gurley on your fantasy roster, you were at least getting 20 to 30 points game after game. Fortunately, he had a really bad injury that he was not able to recover from. So that's when we started to see the regression of the Los Angeles Rams. Now, talking about the Los Angeles Rams, this offseason, there wasn't a lot of moves made on Los Angeles Rams' behalf. Now, I feel like they lost a lot more key pieces than they gained. One of the big pieces that the Los Angeles Rams lost is a player like Todd Gurley. He ended up getting cut and getting picked up from the Atlanta Falcons. They also lost Corey Littleton, which he went to free agency, got picked up by the Las Vegas Raiders. There was also Dante Fowler that they lost, and Brandon Cooks ended up getting traded to the Texans. Now, not just to mention those players, they also lost probably one of the best defensive coordinators in all of football in his time, but when he was with the Los Angeles Rams these last few years, he did a very good job as a defensive coordinator. What I'm talking about is Wade Phillips. Spent a very long time in the NFL, and they also cut ties with him. This 2020 season, we're going to see a whole different look on the defense, especially because those key pieces ended up leaving. First players that they gained a player in Cam Akers. I don't really know too much about him, but they used a very high draft pick in getting him. I think their thoughts and idea was, because we cut ties with Todd Gurley, they want to make Cam Akers their new workhorse. Let's see how that all shakes out. I'm always going to say this, they do have a really good receiving core. I feel like their receiving core, they're not the biggest guys out there, but they're all really good in route running. So I want to say somebody like Cooper Kupp, very polished route running, is a really good player. They also have Robert Woods, which is also an awesome player. Also, Josh Reynolds. He didn't have a lot of great plays, but I feel like when the Arizona Cardinals were playing against the Los Angeles Rams, Josh Reynolds did a lot of stuff to kind of punch us in the mouth. But I feel like a lot of teams did that to us these past couple years. So, but nevertheless, I do feel like the receiving core is really good, even with the departure of Brandon Cooks. Yeah, and I forgot to mention, their salary cap situation is abysmal. I don't even know how they're going to come up with any money to pay Jalen Ramsey, which is still looking for a long-term deal. Most of their salary cap ended up going to Aaron Donald, which makes sense. He's a really good defensive player. Also, Jared Goff, which he ended up getting a really big payday, as well as Todd Gurley. Now, they ended up cutting ties with him, so I think they saved a little bit, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of dead money that ended up going with cutting Todd Gurley. But I think in the financial sense, it probably made more sense for them just to cut him. But I have no clue how they're going to try to re-sign Jalen Ramsey, especially because they gave up 2 first-round picks for Jalen Ramsey, one of them this last 2020 draft, and they also gave up another first-round pick for the 2021 draft. So I'm super curious to figure out how this is all going to shake out, if they can re-sign Jalen Ramsey, or if they can even maintain a great team this coming 2020 season. Now, the Arizona Cardinals are obviously going to play the Los Angeles Rams twice because we play our division twice in a season. We're going to be playing on week 13 and week 17. Now, the way I feel about this is kind of indifferent. I don't like that we're playing them so late in the season. The reason for that is because we do have that additional wild card spot. It gives more of a momentum to any division team to try to knock you out of the division race or the playoff race. I understand it's up to the Arizona Cardinals to, make sure they don't be put in that situation. I completely 100% agree with you. For the past couple years, the Los Angeles Rams really had our number, but I could honestly say this coming year, 2020, they're going to be regressing. Now, I don't think that they're going to be just a 3-4 win team. They probably will be a 5-6, maybe even a 500 team. It's really hard to ask for the Los Angeles Rams to continue to give them the same amount of play, the same amount of spectacular moves when such dramatic things has happened throughout the entire offseason. So many big key pieces are gone. Yes, they still have, dynamite pieces like Aaron Donald. Jalen Ramsey's looking for a bounce back season. Jared Goff is looking back for a bounce back season. They also do have a young tight end in Tyler Higbee. Of course, when we ended up seeing him as far as the Arizona Cardinals, he pretty much ran all over us and was catching the balls, but we had the inability to cover tight ends that season. If I can be completely 100% honest here, I feel like the Arizona Cardinals will 100% have the number of the Los Angeles Rams. The games were a little more towards the middle of the season, like a week 4 or week 10 or even maybe like a week 12 game. I feel like the Arizona Cardinals can go 2-0 against the Los Angeles Rams. Because the way that the schedule is set out, playing them on week 13 as well as week 17, I feel like we're going to have such a big advantage of possibly trying to keep our players healthy when it comes to the end of the season, that week 17 will kind of just be a wash play, and I wouldn't be surprised if we go 1-1 against the division, but I have no doubt in my mind that we can go ahead and sweep the Los Angeles Rams coming 2020 season. There's been just so many great big pieces that the Arizona Cardinals has done on our end, and you can't deny the fact that the Los Angeles Rams has lost that much to maintain playoff race or their Super Bowl chances. Losing a big key piece like Todd Gurley, although he wasn't the same the last year, that's just a voice for concern. There's a lot of games when Todd Gurley wasn't playing that Jared Goff really did not look comfortable. He really didn't look good. I think they thrive on play action, especially because there are so many people sunk into the box ready for Todd Gurley to break a big one, that at this point, because Todd Gurley isn't back there, Jared Goff has really become one-dimensional, and he has not looked very good without Todd Gurley in the backfield. That just gives me more of a reason to feel like the Arizona Cardinals are going to do so good against the Los Angeles Rams this coming 2020 season. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Drop a like. If you're new, please consider subscribing. That's all I got for this episode, guys, and I'm out. Thank you so much.